everybody. We are here again, to share with you more about Reinaldo's chess lesson. So today we are going to do a tactical training. Okay. So basically, we are going to be working in the chess.com platform. Okay, resolving some tactical puzzles, but in survival mode. Okay, this means that we have all the time that we need to resolve tactical puzzles and explain, the thinking process during this case when we know that exists a tactics there. Okay, we can identify tactical motive. We can recognize some positional patterns. Okay, also we are going to do emphasizing the use of the thinking process, analyzing the forced move that will be checks, captures, and threats. Okay, so basically what we are going to be trying to do is share with you the way to think in these kind of situations. Okay, so you can see that my record is 44, so we are going to try to overpass this record together, and hopefully we cannot keep that. Okay, so well, let's start with the tactical training. Okay, so okay, here we have the first position. We can see the last move of black. So we have to evaluate checks, captures, and threats. Okay, so as the king is in the edge of the board, the first ones are very easy. We have a staircase made. So check plus capture. This is the most forced move available. Black have to block with the knight, and we can capture the knight with the staircase made. Okay, here white to move. Again, we have to look for checks, captures, and threats. So background issues for black. The king cannot escape because this rook is occupying that square. Checkmate 1. Okay, rook g3. Here, white have a lot of pressure on the pawn on g7. We can look for checks, captures, and threats. So background issues for white again. Takes, block, check. Okay. Again, background, check plus capture. Okay, here, check plus capture. The escaping square is covered by the knight. So look how all the time we look for immediate checks. Okay, here, discover check. So if we push the pawn, the queen can attack the king and also attacking the rooks. Check. Okay, blocks with the rook. Now we don't have more checks available, but the queen is hanging on e1, so we can win material. Okay, bishop takes on f1. In this one, we have to be very careful because there is a lot of black pieces around the white king. Usually in this situation, that is a sign that we have to find something very clever and force. Okay, so check plus capture on d6. If the king goes to c8, we have queen c7 checkmate. If the king goes to e8, we can do the checkmate with the knight. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, and checkmate. This mate is known as kiss of death. Okay, when the queen is in front of the king. Okay, perfect. Here we have another tactical tool, discovering attack using check plus capture. Okay, bishop takes on h2, and the queen will be hanging in the first. Okay, here, we have an intersection point on h2 for the queen and the knight to do the checkmate. But the knight on e5 is in that diagonal. We have to remove this knight, winning a tempo. So check plus capture, liberating a space for the black queen. Okay, here we have e4, check plus capture again. So, and the rook will be hanging on h5. Let me see if, yeah, will be with check. Basically, we are winning material. Okay, the rook is hanging. We don't have anything else better. Okay, now we have here g4. Now we are going to see another kind of background issues, because here we have one check. Okay, on e2, the king has to go to c1, and after queen e1, we are going to do a background mate because the c2 square will be covered by the bishop. Queen sacrifice and background mate. Okay, here we have queen g2. I am thinking in checks, captures, and threats. So, okay, trade queens. But I immediately noticed the possibility to maybe to pin the queen with the rook, but white can move the rook to g5. So let's think about this. Rook g6, rook g5, and after that, no, it's too clear how to continue. Rook g6, rook g5, I am missing something here. Okay, finally we have the first trouble with this one. Okay, this bishop is, oh no, now I can see. This bishop is being blocked by the pawn. For some reason, I was thinking that this diagonal was open, and I didn't consider this check. Okay, so rook g6, rook g5. We have a check on e3 that may be useful. Okay, because the check directly on e3 doesn't work. So that, let's go for that. Rook g6, rook g5, queen e3 check. King move. Black can push the pawn to f3, attacking the queen and attacking the rook on g5. Let's try that. Okay, well, white captured immediately. Okay, so these are good news. More simple. Okay, here 95. Again, checks, captures, and threats. Okay, no checks. So let's see. Probably we can create, these pieces is hanging, we can pin the knight. And really, white will not have any way to protect the knight, because rook d4 to protect the knight, no, it's possible due to the location of the pawn. Also, after bishop f5, we have to consider some checks, but I can simply capture the knight. So there, I think black is winning at least an exchange. Okay. Good. So we would like to capture the pawn, but the queen is under attack. If the queen captures the pawn on g7, this rook will be hanging, and also the bishop hanging. So this will be basically a double attack. Well, at the moment, it's very important to see that black have extra pieces, but in this variant, white can recover the material, restore the material balance. Okay, I cannot see anything wrong with that, so let's go. Okay, queen f6, intermediate move, defending the rook with an x-ray. Okay, so, but I can trade queens first, and later the bishop will be hung. Okay, good. Now, white to move. We have a check on g3, very important. That is almost checkmate, because we have here a kind of Boden's main, and also the rook is collaborating. So it's very important, when we have a large square bishop, try to keep and use our king using the opposite color, okay? Because the queen is like the substitution for the dark square bishop. So checks. Okay, he blocked with the knight. The principle says capture with the less value pieces, but in this case, as we are talking about an attacking position, it's very important keep the initiative. Okay, and the capture with the more value pieces allow us keep the initiative. Okay, black is threatening the last for bishop. Okay, here pieces in the same line. This is a pin. Okay, if we retreat the bishop to d3, we can win the exchange. See, nothing wrong with that. Okay. King g7 attacking the rook, but the rook is already defended, so we are winning the queen takes on d6. Forced move. Okay, capture, recapture, and this diagonal will be open, and the rook is going to be trapped on the queen. Okay. It's everything that we have to capture the rook, but all the time it's very important verify if we have something better to do, a check, if we are missing a checkmate with material, okay, but this not is the case. Okay, rook, here it's impossible to checkmate only with the queen. Why have overwhelming material advantage? Probably this is a case of perpetual check, okay, because we don't have enough material to develop a decisive attack against the white king, okay? So here we can do the perpetual check, keeping the queen on e2 and e1, okay? Check, Okay, so that puzzle sometimes are a bit difficult because all the time we are looking for winning variants. Okay, but in that one was easy to recognize that we have to fight for the draw rate. Okay, here queen d3, we can exchange queens, but okay, that no is a good idea if we are attacking. So I am thinking in capture the bishop with the knight in order to protect the queen. I have to verify if I can have some potential issues with my background. After knight takes on e4, queen d8 check, the king can go to g7, and there is no way for white to keep the initiative in that case. Okay, so let's go for that. Extra pieces. Okay, rook in the background, king g7. Okay, rook to d8. No is creating any threat. Okay, now let's see. Checks, captures, and threats. Okay, we have a check on g7. The king can escape. I don't see any clear in that case. Okay. Also this, okay, I was thinking that this rook may be in trouble, but really this diagonal is being blocked by the central path. Okay. Also, I have a check here with a potential royal fork, but the bishop on e7 is guarding that square. So I can try to deflect that bishop somehow. Oh, now, not necessary. I can do the royal fork. Black is forced to capture, and with the recapture with the queen, I will be creating a double attack. Okay, so I can win material. So importance of the forces, both checks, captures, and threats, and also we have really two tactical motives. These two pieces. Okay, queen takes a knight, rook g6. We can capture on a7 and move the queen. Okay, here we have knight d5. I cannot capture with the pawn because the queen will be hanging. I don't have any check available. I am capturing with the knight. Here, this puzzle works to explain a case of superficial calculation. Many players consider the capture and say, oh, I cannot capture because the queen is pinned and I am losing the queen. But after that variant, we have to continue calculating and really we can jump with our knight from d5 to c3 with a royal family for recovering the queen. Probably that's the winning variant. Knight takes d5, check. Bishop takes e7, knight c3, waiting my pieces. Okay. Okay, here, this is check. Let's see, we have two options. Okay, move the king or block the check. Let's see what is better here in this case. Really, the king here is doing an excellent job because he's in front of the other king, so really he's keeping a kind of opposition ready to get this invasion square with the rook to force the enemy king to go to the edge of the board. So I have a natural tendency to block the check with the knight to keep the king in an active location because as we are in the end game, the king must be centralized. Also, king here, okay, will be white to move, and white can just probably move the king forward within the opposition and putting pressure. So, okay, this variant no is too forced, really, but okay, this is a puzzle about defense, really. Let's do this. Okay, he's suffering. Okay, exchange of rooks. I think I can exchange a couple of rooks, and later this pawn is going to be hanging, is falling. So okay, the material advantage is big. So let's go for the exchange. Okay, perfect. Bishop d6, white to move. Okay, no check. Let's see. Also, okay, this bishop is hanging. If I capture on d7, the queen will be under attack as well. So basically, I can capture when black capture the bishop, I can win a tempo capturing the queen. Okay, because with the capture on d7, the bishop on d6 will be hanging. I think at the end of the variant, white is going to win an exchange or maybe an extra piece. Okay, capture with the rook. Okay, so rook takes on e5. I can capture the rook immediately. Okay, but let's look for troubles. With that variant, the pawn on c6 is hanging. White can capture with the bishop, but after the capture with the bishop, the king can escape to fa, for example. So also the queen here is one square away in the diagonal of this knight, so that means that it's pretty safe. I cannot see any trouble with that capture. Let's do that. Okay, to fa, not to da, because this is an open file and the king will be exposed. Okay, also when I move my king, I look for some checks to try to win the queen, but okay, that is what is very well covered. Rook takes on c6, queen takes, so king f. Okay. Now we have here c4, pieces hanging, tactical motive. We can do queen e4 check. White has to move. If queen e2, I can trade queen and later win the bishop. So okay, knight takes on e5. If I capture the knight immediately, white can capture this knight because the pawn on g6 is weak. Okay? It's very important focusing the opponent's threat as well. For that reason, maybe I have this intermediate move because we have to construct the variant in reverse. Okay, so when we notice that we have that trouble, now we can try to resolve the trouble with the knight that is hanging really because the pawn on g6 is pinned. So maybe with knight f4, we can win a tempo, attacking the queen and later capturing the knight in safer conditions. Okay. Okay, here we have a well-known checkmate pattern because when the bishop is guarding this square, we can create a kind of background mate in the edge of the board. What we have to do is remove this pawn with this deflection move. Knight g3, pawn takes, and now we have to move the queen to the edge of the board. White is going to block, and we can just capture the queen doing the check. Okay, perfect. Here we have the possibility to do royal 4, but the pawn is guarding the f3 square. So if we win the rook, deflect the pawn, and we can use the square to win the queen. Basically, well, not with the queen. We are going to be winning a rook, but also we have to look for checks, captures, and threats by white. Queen takes on h3, knight takes on f6. That doesn't work, so no trouble with this variant. Okay, here, this is a case of checkmate net. That king is very exposed there. So let's see. Checks, captures, and threats in case of check into a7. And after that, no more checks available. Black is promoting. Okay, now I can see. We can do check here. And in case of king e8, we have the Arabian mate. Okay, because the knight will be controlling these two spots. Okay, so after knight g6, in order to avoid the mate, black will be forced to sacrifice the rook for the knight. And after king takes, black is going to promote, but white will do the checkmate first. Okay, so this is a case of we have a checkmate pattern, the Arabian mate, or a background mate. Okay, so yeah, the check and check. Okay, in that case, we recognize the possibility to do the pattern. Here I am thinking the morphing mate, moving the queen here, but the knight is blocking that line. Okay, I am thinking in the possibility probably to remove this knight somehow, maybe with knight takes on e5, and in case of knight takes, I can get the invasion square with the morphing mate. So other alternative in case of the capture and the knight takes on d6, well, I can capture on g4, winning a pawn in that case. Let's see, in case of knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes on g4, winning a pawn again. Yeah, that variant looks promising. No, it's too clear because the position don't leads to a forced checkmate, but okay, a pawn is a pawn, so let's try. Okay, morphing mate. The engine cooperate very well to help us to develop the checkmate pattern. Okay. Okay, rook takes on d4. We have check and check, but the king escaped to e7. So we have to think about that the king is escaping via e7. We cannot capture the rook because after the recapture, this will be a fork, and the rook on the corner is hacked. Okay? So we have to think very well about what to do here. Okay, chat, king f8, how to kick the initiative there. Check on the corner, king to e7, check with the bishop on g5, check, king e7, bishop g5, check. In that case, unique move will be f6, and after that, the queen can capture on g7 with a checkmate, I think. Oh, no, will not be checkmate because the king can run to the other side. But in that case, I can capture on f6, probably with the bishop, with check, and later win the rook with the bishop. Okay. I know a lot of arrows, crazy variant, but let's see. Check. Check again. Yeah, all is about kick the bishop. Check again. Check. Okay, that's the variant. Knight f4, the queen is under attack. So we can capture on a6, and after king to g8, knight f6, check, king g8, knight f6, check. So, yeah, after that, black have to sacrifice the queen for the knight, I suppose. Yeah, check. And here we recapture with the pawn to renew the checkmate net, and also attacking the knight. The capture with the queen is also possible, but with the pawn looks better. Okay, king to f8. This knight is hanging. So I am thinking in check, king f7, check, king f6 or king g6, and the knight there will be hanging. So that don't look. Also, I have to do something very forced because black is doing the checkmate, only one move. Okay, this is a background mate. Check, because in this way, all those squares will be covered. So basically, the other rook can get the background doing the mate. Yeah. Okay, good. Here we have black to move. A sequence of checks. So, okay, we cannot do this mate directly because this queen, be careful with the lombo. Okay, very easy to overlook the lombo. Okay, when a pieces can be transferred from one flank to another. Okay, typically when we are attacking a king, usually it's a good idea the use of the less value pieces first. I am very sure that this should be the move, but okay, we have to evaluate the position complete. Yeah, now knight g5, king g4, queen f3, the king has to capture, and now queen h3 mate. That should be the move. Yeah, this is a mate. Okay, bishop takes on d5, white to move. Yeah, again, starting the attacking with the less value pieces is a good idea. We have also another check here that this check may be interesting. Check on c5, the king can go to d8, rook b1 check, the king can check this, check, but black can block with the bishop on b7. Oh, but in case of the block with the bishop on b7, the queen will be hanging. Okay, so queen c5, the king cannot go to the d file because this capture wins the queen. So after queen c5, the king has to go to the b, and after rook b1, bishop b7, the queen will be hanging on e5. So this is it's very easy to make a mistake in this puzzle because as usually the natural way to proceed is using the less value pieces first, but this case may be a kind of a section, okay, because the first check is with the more value piece. Okay, well, we can win the. Okay, rook takes on f3. Let's see. Okay, I am looking for checks. No checks available, I think. Okay, or not useful checks at least. Okay, we have a lot of different ways to sacrifice it, okay? But that don't look clever at the moment. Okay, I am trying to see how can activate this rook, looking for an open file. Okay, maybe rook here to try to get this invasion square, but in that case, white can try to play rook e3, but the downside of rook e3 is that f2 will be hanging. So basically, with rook e8, this move is very difficult. No, it's a check, no, it's a capture, but really we are creating a threat. Despite we are not attacking a pieces, the threat is get the invasion square with the rook. Okay? And really is a unique logical move in the position, and also is a unique pieces without participating. As we don't have checks, captures, and well, this is a positional threat, really. Okay? Let's do this, okay? This move, difficult to predict the entire variant because everything will depend about what white is going to do. Okay, queen d1, we expected defense. We was expecting rook e3. Okay, in this case, the rook can, this don't do anything about the rook getting the invasion square, so let's go ahead. Okay, now the king is overloaded because he's defending the queen and the rook. So I can trade queens and win the rook hanging on b2. Okay, also I am thinking in queen c3 check, but in case of queen c3, rook c2, so let's go for the simple. Okay, good. Here we have a kind of windmill, okay? The bishop behind the rook and the rook being ready to do a series of discovered checks. No, it's too simple because the rook is have a kind of counter being. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Rook takes on fa, king takes on fa. Yeah, and after that, there is no way to incorporate new pieces in the attack. Maybe queen b4 check. Oh, maybe that variant is interesting. Rook takes, king takes, queen b4 check, because we have a kind of Bodens made there. So with the king on fa, black have to play king g7 or king g8. But after that, there is no clear way to continue with that. So let's try to find. Okay, we have a check with the queen here on a4. So let's see. Okay, now I can see this rook will be hanging. And if the king goes to e7 to kick the rook defended, eventually we are going to have this check with a double attack with the f rook and the queen. So what we have to do is find the correct. I don't like f6 because the king can come here and capture the rook with the king. So the check has to be probably on f5 because if we move the rook to f4, we are going to block the forehand for the queen. Let's do rook f5, king e7, queen b4 check. I think that should be the bear. Okay, queen b4. Okay, and again another case of overloaded pieces. The king is defending. Oh, sorry, two pieces at the same time. So we can capture the queen and the rook will be hanging. And also the rook here is going to pin all the pieces in the background. Okay, queen takes on d5. Immediately I can identify this rook hanging. Okay, don't forget the long move, but our rook is hanging as well. So maybe we can try to find an intermediate move to protect the rook and later capture the rook on a7 hanging. Okay, also I can see another thing that after rook, queen takes the rook, knight e5, attacks. You can see that it's very important. Calculate it and know, and don't do a superficial calculation. Okay, queen takes a7, queen takes c6. Okay, a knight e5, attacking the queen. Yeah, black cannot block the 7 rank because this square is also guarded by the knight. So I think when the queen lands on f7, this knight will be hanging. So that should be the variant. Let's try. Okay, it's offering a trade, but I can do the check and win the pieces hanging. Okay, good. Okay, this is I all the time, says to the student the importance of the knowledge of the kings and pawns hanging, because when we have a strong knowledge about kings and pawns hanging, we have an amazing tool to simplify the position to create, a very easy position to convert. Here with g6, we can do the fork and force the trade of the queen. That way, this king will be, out of the squares for the kings. G6 takes, and now it's evident that this king is out of the box. Okay, of the pawn, so the pawn can start to run, and I won't be able to track the pawn. Goodbye, king. Bye. Okay. So, okay, queen here attacking the rook. Let's see. Yeah, in this case, we don't have really, I have a bit material disadvantage. So, okay, the black king is in a kind of checkmate net. So I was thinking in do something like knight f5 to incorporate a new attacker. Doesn't matter that this is hanging because we have a fork here. Okay, and if captured with the king, we have another fork here because we have a discover check. I have, in a first glance, knight f5 looks very good because we can incorporate basically for free a new attacker around it. Because those checks are useless because we cannot exchange the two rooks for the queen because black have bishop against knight and also a very strong far pass pawn. So knight f5, but we have to verify some variants like checks for black. This one, but I can, we can block with the knight with check, and after king to the corner, we can get the invasion square, forking the queen and the king. Let's do that. Knight f5. Okay, goes for this, but we can do the fork in this case. Discover. Okay, he can block with the bishop with check, but rook takes, and the queen will be hanging. Okay, yeah, you can win the queen. Oh, perfect. Full mate pattern. Okay, this is available, but yeah, if the king goes to e7, check, king d6, check on d5. Okay, we have to be very careful in this one because in a first glance it looks very simple, but we are in tactics number 40, so probably no is too simple. Also, after the check on h5, the king can be moved forward, to e7 on e7. So let's see. Yeah, okay. In case of king d7, queen takes on f5. Check, keeping the initiative. But in any case, that has to be the correct check because the checks on is a unique check available to fight for the initiative because checks on the e file allows queen e7, with some simplifications. But I would like to see the entire variance. Check, king e7. Okay, I think I can see the variant. We can win the queen probably. Check, king e7. So check, but okay, no, can block with the knight. So that I was thinking in check here, king to d7, bishop d6 check, and wins the queen. But in case of the check, throw the dart square. Black can block with the knight. So check, king e7, queen f7, king d6. Probably a case of perpetual check. I'm not sure. Let's go for this. Okay. Check on f5, check on f7. Yeah, on f7, I cannot do the check here because black can block exchanging queens. So this is a unique move. Okay, and here I think I have a kind of checkmate very soon. Bishop b5, check. In case of, oh no, bishop b5 check, no, because the king goes here, and I was thinking that I have queen c5. Queen b5, king d6. queen c5, king d7. And after that, yeah, let's see. Okay, I don't have too many options here. So probably queen b5 is the unique one, because if bishop b5, the king escape to b6, and after that I don't have how to continue. Sometimes we can find the variant just discarding some options. So okay, and the puzzle ends. Okay, that is good. Okay, here bishop b7, we have a unique check. So bishop takes, king takes. Probably we are going to try to gag the g6 square with the queen after that. So yeah, black can try to protect that square with the rook, but the bishop is guarding that. So we have to do, this is the unique way to take and fight for the initiative. So really, we say that this is a defensive alternative. So when we use the prophylactic thinking, looking for the best resource for the opponent, we don't want to block the diagonal for the bishop, because we would like to remove that defender to be able to have access to the g6 square. So for that reason, and also the knight used to be good in the center of the. Okay, now queen g4, looking for the invasion square. And in case of rook a6, we can remove the defender. Okay, he didn't do that. So we can get the square. Okay, it's over. So queen d2, we can capture here with check, but the knight can, black can recapture with the knight. And after that, knight takes, queen f7 to try to get this intersection point, but black can come back with the queen to d6. So let's see. Also, okay, this knight is hanging here, but black is capturing on f4 with check. So I have to be careful with that. Yeah, how can I prevent the capture on f4 with check? I cannot allow that, because in that, if black do that, he's going to take the initiative. And when we lose the initiative in those kind of puzzles, yeah, that will be an incorrect variant. So I am thinking in the possibility to capture on g6 to protect the pawn on f4, and also removing the defender of the pawn. Knight takes on g6, king takes on g6, pawn takes the knight check, king takes the knight, rook takes, queen takes on f4, and rook g3 blocking the check. That variant looks good. Let's try. Well, yeah, because really, black don't have any way to increase the pressure here directly with the rook, I say. Okay, rook takes g7, queen takes f4, and rook g3. And after that, king h4, but in case of king h4, queen e7 checks. Okay, good. Okay, bishop f1. So let's see. Okay, we have this check, checks, captures, and threats, followed by queen e3 check, king g2, check, queen e3, king g2. Okay, now I can capture later on e4, and the rook will be hanging on b1. So check, capture, queen e3, king g2, queen takes on e4, and the rook will be hanging. So tactical motive, pieces hanging, okay? After queen takes here, I don't know if bishop d3 to attack the queen no is possible, because the knight is guarding here. So that should be the variant. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. We are going to do one more. Yeah, I think my record was 44. Okay, so probably with this one we can do the last one. Okay, for today. Let's see. Okay, knight c3. I can capture on g2 with check. This is a case of windmill, but the trouble, with this windmill is that when I do the discover check with the rook, this guy will be hanging. Basically, white can capture with check. So I have to be very careful. So I can capture on g2, and after the king goes to the corner, probably I have to move the bishop. I have to do an intermediate, but probably placing the bishop to square away of the knight and blocking the f2 pawn to kick the chance to do an effective windmill. Yeah, bishop f3. I cannot do the windmill directly because the bishop is hanging. So to have a successful windmill is very important that the sniper, has to be in a safe location. And really on f3, is controlling the knight and cannot be attacked by any other pieces. Probably this would be a case of maybe a perpetual check. Okay. Okay, perfect. 45 with this. I I overpassed my record in survival mode in the series of puzzles. So, okay, well, was quite good because was a perfect series. I didn't make any mistake. Also, because okay, I am trying to explain the thinking process and the way to calculate it and know to avoid some potential counterplays and or miss something during the analysis of the position. So remember, checks, capture threats, looks also for the best defense of your opponent. And sometimes, there is some puzzles where we have to do perpetual checks or also look for defensive move. That, in my personal opinion, are probably the more difficult ones. Okay. So, well, guys, with this, we finish in the first session of tactical training. So I hope you enjoy the content and learn something about how to think in tactical positions. So don't forget your like and subscribe and share with your friends. Goodbye.